Well, good evening. This is our album launch for our new album, Lost in the Fall. We want to welcome all of you, and you too. Welcome.
Hello SA music lovers, Ian here from Overtone. As you can see from the footage behind me, I recently went to the launch of the new album by the Dirty Skirts. I also got the chance to sit down with the guitarist and have a few words. Introduction!
Hi, I'm David from the Dirty Skirts.
Thanks Dave. So the new album is called Lost in the Fall. Does that have any particular meaning with the band?
I think it can be interpreted in a number of different ways. It really emerged as a lyric, so you'll find it in the song Music Stole My Heart. I think we like the fact that it could be interpreted in different ways. It's a poetic summation of where the band is at. We also liked just the literal interpretation of it, like physically losing something, you know, as one kind of falls, so physically losing something that you had in your hands as you fall, which I thought kind of spoke to our intentions around the band and where it's going right now. Willingly giving up something that we've, you know, managed to build.
I'm looking at some of the track names here. We've got Rebellion, We're All Gonna Die, It's Gone Too Far, Evil Comes. Dave, have the Dirty Skirts turned to the dark side?
No, I don't think so necessarily. I think a lot of those songs are just observations about life, and you know, I think like depending on where you choose to look. There's various themes on the record. I think like there's been a lot of focus on like the kind of ecological observations, but I don't think by any means this is an album created exclusively with that in mind. I mean, you'll find varied themes on the album, you know, that speak to life in general and observations about life. So it's not all dark. Some of it's quite light and pretty fun, I think.
When I put the CD into my computer, iTunes categorizes it as indie. So are you guys happy with that generalization of your genre?
Look, I think if you listen to all of our music, it's quite varied, and I think it's lumped in various subgenres within rock, whether it's alternate rock or indie rock or rock/pop or alternate pop. It doesn't really influence us in a way, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, indie's an extremely broad genre these days, so we're certainly comfortable rubbing shoulders with some of the people that are in there. Why not?
You're right, it is a very broad genre. In fact, I'd say your first album was very straight up Brit indie pop. The second album was sort of more electro pop. And your new album definitely has a more alternative feel to it. Can you give us an idea of what contributed to that shift?
Creativity, I guess. You know, I mean, you know, I'm not sure which albums you're referring to. We released an EP first, and on the EP was things like Feeling the Pressure and Little Tsunami.
Oh, yeah.
Following on from that EP was the first full-length album, On a Stellar Bender, and that had songs on it like Homewrecker, but on the very same album you've got songs like Sings the Blood, which was completely electronic. So you had, you know, Homewrecker, which is kind of raw guitars, drums, bass, absolutely no electronica, and on the same album you got kind of songs that were, you know, dripping in synths. So I think the sonic is quite varied within the albums, like On a Stellar Bender. Certainly the sonic was a lot less varied on Daddy Don't Disco, you know, because there was a commitment to using a particular kit sound, for example, and certain tones on the album. On this album, we have approached it differently. Lost in the Fall, we've gone into it with quite strong ideas about the tones that we wanted to achieve, and we recorded at Heritage Sound with Brendan Rusty Rousseau. We're in a position to afford a little bit more time in the studio, so we experimented with our sonic in a way that we haven't really been in a position to before. So I think we're comfortable that we reached the destination that we had hoped to.
There was quite a gap between this album and the last album compared to previous releases. And I know that some of the songs have been played since Rocking the Daisies last year, so why did it take so long to record?
Life, I guess, you know, we're all busy lads, and you know, we've self-funded our albums over the years, so, you know, once you release one and a couple of music videos, invariably you have to kind of gig out a lot to recover that investment. You know, we kind of had intentions of recording this album in 2010, but, you know, as the year rolled out, it became clear that not all of the material was at a point where, you know, we felt like we were willing to rush its completion simply to meet a self-imposed deadline. So we decided to record 1 or 2 songs at Heritage Studios and see what the process was like and what it was like working with Rusty. And we would make our decision on the back of that. So Strike the Match worked out well. We decided to release it at the end of last year. We played some version of the songs at Rocking the Daisies, but they were still far from their completed form as they are on the album now. And then in December, you know, we weren't just in a position to kind of songwrite, and we were out playing gigs around all over the country. So really finishing the album was a priority that was pushed into the beginning of 2011. And the deadline became, I think, April. We moved into studio, so that's before you know it, halfway through 2011.
You guys are busy touring the album at the moment. Is there a difference between an album tour and a regular tour?
Yeah, I think there's a greater emphasis on making the shows something special. You know, so regular shows, one might be comfortable just, you know, putting out a little bit of marketing on Facebook and just playing the event, you know. So we have themed these events to be consistent with, you know, some of the ideas and concepts that exist on Lost in the Fall. So there's quite a strong visual support for it. Graphical languages that exist in the album artwork have been extended into the event environments. And then we've played a little around with some numerology, and some of the people that have worked at the events have been kind of wearing cloaks, and some of the staff have been dressed up to look like zombies, and, you know, just some of the ideas from the album. So we wouldn't normally go to that amount of effort on just regular shows. And yeah, we've done Cape Town, Johannesburg and Pretoria so far. It's all been fantastic, and we've got a show in Durban at the end of the month, and that's currently all we have booked.
Okay, last but not least, Dave, we need to know, where are all the unicorns?
You have to ask Jeremy.
Okay, well, Jeremy, if you're watching this, please leave a comment below somewhere. Right, that's pretty much it. If you're in Durban, please go check out their album launch there, coming soon, 27th of August, I believe. Otherwise, I'm out of here.